Islam, peace and blessings and love. Let's get this meeting started right away. So all rise. Please face the east. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Jali. Amen. Salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7, in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of this said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names are given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jali, the Prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Jali through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Noble Jali founded the Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Jali. The Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the Noble Prophet Jali by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. The Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, Chapter 13. Life and Works of Jesus in Egypt among the Gentiles. Jesus with Elihu and Salome in Egypt tells the story of his journeys. Elihu and Salome praise Allah. Jesus goes to the temple in Heliopolis and Islam and is received as a pupil. And Jesus came to Egypt land, and all was well. He tarried not upon the coast. He went at once to Zon, home of Elihu and Salome, who 25 years before had taught his mother in their sacred school. And there was joy when met these three. When last the son of Islam, the son of Mary, saw these sacred groves, he was a babe, and now a man grown strong by buffeting of every kind. A teacher had stirred the multitudes in many lands, and Jesus told the aged teachers all about his life, about his journeyings in foreign lands, about the meetings with the masters and his kind receptions by the multitudes. Elihu and Salome heard his story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to heaven and said, Our Father God Allah, let now thy servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of Allah. And we have talked with him, the messenger of love, and of the covenant of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Through him shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Through him, Emmanuel. And Jesus stayed in his own many days, and then went forth into the city of the sun, that men call Heliopolis, and sought admission to the temple of the sacred brotherhood. The council of the brotherhood convened, and Jesus stood before the Hierophant and said, Islam. Let's start all over, verse 10. The council of the brotherhood convened, and Jesus stood before the Hierophant. He answered all questions that were asked with clearness and with power. The Hierophant exclaimed, Rabboni of the Rabbinite, why come you here? Your wisdom is the wisdom of the gods. Why seek for wisdom in the halls of men? And Jesus said, in every way of life I would walk, in every hall of learning I would sit. The heights that any man has gained, these I would gain. What any man has suffered, I would meet, that I may know the griefs, the disappointments, and the sore temptations of my brother man, that I may know just how to succor those in need. I pray you, brothers, let me go into your dismal crypts, and I would pass the hardest of your tests. The master said, take then the vow of secret brotherhood. And Jesus took the vow of secret brotherhood. Again the master spoke. He said, the highest heights are gained by those who reach the greatest depths, and you shall reach the greatest depths. The guide then led the way, and in the fountain Jesus bathed, and when he had been clothed in proper garb, he stood again before the Hierophant. Islam. My brother is calling me right now, and Islam, brother, please call me back, okay? The Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, Chapter 31, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, Justice. The peace of society dependeth on justice, the happiness of individuals on the safe enjoyment of all their possessions. Keep the desires of thy heart, therefore, within the bounds of moderation. Let the hand of justice lead them aright. Cast not an evil eye on the goods of thy neighbor. Let whatever is his property be sacred from thy touch. Let no temptation allure thee, nor any provocation excite thee to lift up thy hand to the hazard of his life. Defame him not in his character. Bear no false witness against him. Corrupt not his servant to cheat or forsake him. And the wife of his bosom, O tempt not to sin. It will be a grief to his heart which thou canst not relieve, an injury to his life which no reparation can atone. In thy dealings with men be impartial and just, and do unto them as thou wouldest they should do unto thee. Be faithful to thy trust, and deceive not the man who relieth upon thee. Be assured it is less evil in the sight of Allah to steal than to betray. Oppress not the poor, and defraud not of his hire the laboring man. When thou sellest for gain, Islam, hear the whispering of conscience, and be satisfied with moderation, nor from the ignorance of thy buyer take any advantage. Pay the debts which thou owest, for he who gave thee credit relieth upon thine honor, and to withhold from him his due is both mean and unjust. Finally, O son of society, examine thy heart, call remembrance to thy aid, and if in any of these things thou hast transgressed, make a speedy reparation to the utmost of thy power. Okay, Islam. There's another part I'm going to read, but I'm going to read that later. When I go back, we're going to read that later. Islam. Quran questions for Moorish Americans. Right? So, right here we have the Moorish American prayer at the top, right? And then we have Quran questions for Moorish children. So let's go through. We're going to go through all 101 keys, right? You should memorize these keys. You should have the knowledge right there readily available to you whenever you need it, and it should be in your mind. Islam. Okay. Brother, you gotta text me. Call me back later. Okay, Islam. Key 1, who made you? Allah. Key 2, who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Key 3, can we see him? No. Key 4, where is the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. Key 5, who is Noble Jali? He is Allah's prophet. Key 6, what is a prophet? A prophet is the thought of Allah manifested in flesh. Key 7, what is the duty of a prophet? To save nations from the wrath of Allah. Key 8, who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America? Noble Jali. Key 9, what year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? 1913 AD. Key 10, where? Newark, New Jersey. Key 11, where was Noble Jali born? In the state of North Carolina, 1886. Key 12, what is his nationality? Moorish American. Key 13, what is your nationality? Moorish American. Key 14, why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Key 15, for what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? For the uplifting of fallen humanity. Key 16, how did the Prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves. Key 17, what is our religion? Islamism. Key 18, is that a new or is that the old-time religion? Old-time religion. Key 19, what kind of flag is the Moorish? It is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center. Key 20, what do the 5 points represent? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Key 21, how old is our flag? It is over 10,000 years old. Key 22, which is our holy day? Friday. Key 23, why? Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh, and it was on a Friday when he departed out of flesh. Key 24, who was Jesus? He was a prophet of Allah. Key 25, where was he born? In Bethlehem of Judah, in the house of David. Key 26, who were his father and mother? Joseph and Mary. Key 27, will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came? Some of the great fathers through which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary. Key 28, why did Allah send Jesus to this earth? To save the Israelites from the iron-hard oppression of the Palestinian nations of Europe who were governing a portion of Palestine at that time. Key 29, how long has it been? About 2,000 years ago. Key 30, what is the nationality of Ruth? Ruth was a Moabitess. Key 31, what is the modern name for the Moabites? Moroccans. Key 32, where's the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Maxim. Key 33, what is the modern name for Maxim? Africa. Key 34, what is the title given to a ruler of Morocco? Sultan. Key 35, where do we get the name Jesus from the East? Key 36, what does the name Jesus mean? Jesus means justice. Key 37, did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus the holy name? Yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. Key 38, what is an angel? An angel is the thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. Key 39, what are angels used for? To carry messages to the four corners of the world, to all nations. Key 40, what is our prophet to us? He is an angel of Allah who is sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah. Key 41, what is the everlasting gospel? It is the saving power that comes from Allah through our ancient fathers by his prophet. Key 42, what is the covenant of the great God Allah? Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah hath given thee. Key 43, at what age did Jesus begin to teach? At the age of 12. Key 44, where did he teach? India, Africa, and Europe. Key 45, how long did he teach? 18 years. Key 46, what did Jesus say? I will make you free? Truth. Key 47, what is truth? Truth is At. Key 48, what is At? At is Allah. Key 49, can truth change? Truth cannot change or pass away. Key 50, what other name do we give to truth? Holy breath. Key 51, what have you to say about the holy breath? All we can say is that it is great, it is good, it was, it is, and evermore to be. Amen. Key 52, at what place on earth was the physical part of man formed? In the Garden of Eden. Key 53, where's the Garden of Eden? In the land of Canaan, in the city of Mecca. Key 54, what is the modern name for the Garden of Eden? Mecca. Key 56, what is the name of the first physical man? His name cannot be used only by executive rulers of the AC of the MST of A. Key 56, what are the words of the AC of the MST of A? Out of chamber of the Moorish Science Temple of America, third heaven. Key 57, who were Adam and Eve? They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims. Key 58, where did they go? They went into Asia. Key 59, what is the modern name given to their children? Asiatics. Key 62, what is the shade of their skin? Olive. Key 63, are the Moorish Americans any relation to those angels? Yes, we all have the same father and mother. Key 64, give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve: Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. Key 65, what is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. Key 66, how many selves are there? 2. Key 67, name them: higher self and lower self. Key 68, what people represent the higher self? The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca. Key 69, what people represent the lower self? Those who are cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teaching. Key 70, what is the higher self? The higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Key 71, can the higher self pass away? No. Key 72, why? Because it is Allah and man. Key 73, what does the lower self breed? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. Key 74, what did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him? Where are you going, Satan? Key 75, what was the answer the lower self gave to the higher self? I am going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. Key 76, does he finish his task of devouring? Yes. Key 77, when was his time declared out? When he nailed Jesus on the cross. Key 78, what are the last words Jesus uttered? It is finished. Key 79, what did he have reference to? He had reference to the end of Satan. Key 80, did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him? Yes. Key 81, what is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror. Key 82, was Satan to be bound then? Satan was to be bound in part. Key 83, when was the head of Satan taken off? 1453 Byzantine. Key 84, by whom? By Muhammad. Key 85, name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. Negro, black, colored in Ethiopia. Key 86, Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contains black water. Key 87, what is meant by the word black? Black, according to science, means death. Key 88, what does the word colored mean? Colored means anything that's been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. Key 89, what does Ethiopia mean? Ethiopia means something divided. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian? No. Key 91, why? Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah. Key 92, what title does Satan give himself? God. Key 93, will you define the word white? White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. Key 94, to whom do we refer to at times as being the great God? Allah. Key 95, is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah? No, he is the shadow of our lower selves and will pass away. Key 96, who made the devil? Elohim. Key 97, who is Elohim? Elohim is the seven creative spirits that created everything that ever was, is, and evermore to be. Key 98, what is Elohim sometimes called? The seven eyes of Allah. Key 99, how many days are in the circle? 7 days. Key 100, how many days are in a creation? 7 days. 101, according to science, how many days are in a year? 7 days. Islam, rise and give a praises to Allah, the great God of the universe. Always, right? Rise and give praises to Allah, the great God of the universe, for blessing us with this holy month of Ramadan, a whole month therein to have holy days. We have holy days. The whole month is blessed, right? And if you are a Muslim, or a Muslim, or you're in the Muslim community, you recognize this and you practice this and you take part of this, right? You are part and partial of this demonstration and you see the goodness that's in it, right? And you practice this to the best of your ability, no matter where you're at along this journey of life, right? You practice Ramadan, right, in your personal journey, and praise Allah, because that's what Ramadan is about, right? Getting to know Allah a lot better. So praise Allah for this holy month of Ramadan. It's in the 9th month of the lunar calendar in this cycle of Ramadan. May your Ramadan be blessed. Okay, so honors, high honors to the Holy and Divine Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, right? High honors to the Holy and Divine Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, right? In this holy month of Ramadan, who came down and brought back all of our culture, all of our creed, and gave it to us so that we had something to hold, right? Something that we can actually have for our own. Give thanks, and may Allah be praised, because that was a true and divine mercy from Allah to come save a people that has strayed away from Allah. So give thanks to Allah, and praise Allah, give thanks to the prophet for coming down and sticking to his measure and doing whatever he needed to do to bring us this information, right? To bring us our own selves, right? To help us to learn to just be ourselves completely. Give thanks. Okay, high and divine honors to the forerunner of the prophet who came to prepare the people and prepared the way. A true maroon, a Moorish American, right? Brother Marcus Garvey Bay. Honors to the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Temple of Brother E. Millie Ill, who, when the prophet saw him, he said, "Brother, what are you doing?" He said, I'm filling out insurance forms so that, the temple can have this insurance. He said, "Brother, the work that you're doing, I need you. Follow me," right? So praise be to Allah for the Supreme Grand Sheikh, the first appointed of the Moorish Temple of America, Brother E. Millie Ill. Honors to Pearl Drawley, right? The prophet's wife, who, when she saw the need for the people to have, the sisters to have a code, a standard to live by, a sisterhood, something that sisters, could be more connected with. And when she saw that this would assist the prophet in his divine, in key 15, right? She saw that this would assist the prophet in uplifting fallen humanity. She said, "I would love to assist." And she did her part as well. And as well as what every sister should be doing in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? Helping to be a pillar of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So high and divine honors to her. High honors to all prophets all over the world that have come down to this earthland and have brought the truth, brought the word of God amongst the people. High honors for that. High honors. All the prophets, the ones that we are known, right? Muhammad, right? Jesus, right? And also the ones that we don't know. Ones we may not know by name. High honors to those. Okay. So with that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to read from the Holy Koran. This is the chapter of inconstancy. This is chapter 41, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 41. I'm going to turn to page 52 at the top. I'm going to read from there. On his brow sitteth majesty, steadiness is in his port, and in his heart reigneth tranquility. Though obstacles appear in his way, he deigneth not to look down upon them. Though heaven and earth oppose his passage, he proceedeth. The mountains sink beneath his tread. The waters of the ocean are dried up under the sole of his foot. The tiger throweth herself across his way in vain. The spots of the leopard grow against him unregarded. He marcheth through the embattled legions with his hands. He putteth aside the terrors of death. Storms roar against his shoulders, but are not able to shake them. The thunder bursteth over his head in vain. The lightning serveth but to show the glories of his countenance. His name is resolution. He cometh from the utmost part of the earth. He seeth happiness afar off before him. With his eye discovereth her temple beyond the limits of the pole. He walketh up to it, and he entereth boldly. He remaineth there forever. Establish thy heart, O man, in that which is right, and then know the greatest of human is to be immutable. I'm going to also read a section of another chapter. So I was chapter 41 of the Circle 7. I believe that was verses 25 through 33. Okay, and then I have another section to read. I love reading. Let's go. So this is the divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 7. The friendship of Jesus and Amos. Jesus explains to Amos the meaning of truth. Okay, so in this chapter, Jesus and Amos are talking, and Amos is asking Jesus a bunch of questions. So I'm going to go down to the first one, right? Verse 2. One day, as Jesus and Amos walked alone in Plaza Jagannath, Amos said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Jesus said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not. In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood, and falsehood that which seems to be. Now truth is aught and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. Whatever has been made will be unmade. That which begins must end. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifested of aught, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflexes, just appearing while the ethers vibrate so and so. And when conditions change, they disappear. The holy breath is truth, is that which was and is never more shall be. It cannot change nor pass away." Islam. I can't see from far away, so I had to get up close. Okay, Islam. And see what's being said. Okay, so let's go back to the keys, because we got to study the keys, right? This is Sunday school. We must confirm ourselves to the questionnaire, so we must study this, right? And so the chapter I just read brings up key 46. What did Jesus say that will make you free? Truth. It has truth in all caps. Even in truth, we hear Ruth. You know what I'm saying? That takes you back to key 33. It shows you how everything is connected, right? Divinely connected, divinely weaved, right? So what is truth, right? What is truth? Truth is aught. Okay, what is aught? Aught is Allah. So there's only two things in the world, right? There's only two things in the world. There's truth, and then there's falsehood. And then we read that chapter right there. It shows you that there's actually three. There's truth, there's falsehood, and then there's falsehood, that which seems to be truth. Islam. What? No, Islam. Islam. Oh, so right. So there's truth, there's falsehood, and there's falsehood that which seems to be truth. So a part of discernment is knowing what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with, right? And what you're looking at, right? You always have to have your eyes open no matter what. Whether that be eyes open in your surroundings, I'm saying your third eye, keeping your spiritual eye open, right? And you could keep your eye open on your surroundings, but if all you see is physical, then there's a lot you're missing in the unseen, right? Because we have the seen, we have the unseen, right? Somebody could say something or do something and come off a certain way, like kind or nice, but if you have the eyes to see, you can actually tell what their intent is. Maybe if you know how to read body language, for example, if you could look at somebody's face, you know what I'm saying, you can notice the different movements. Like, for example, if somebody, this ain't really in our culture, but if somebody turns red or something like that, or if, they do something like that, then it's like, okay, you can read the shame upon people's faces, right? So you got to have eyes that are really keen. And when you read these keys, right, the one key that stood out to me today was definitely in these, on the 5th page, key 74 through key 92, right? Key 86, Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa because it contains black water, right? So if you look on a map, right? I don't have a map here present, but what I'm saying? If you look on a map, you can see the Niger River, right? The Niger River, I think, is what it's written on maps, right? It's called the Niger River. And you can see that it flows through Africa, you know what I'm saying? Probably on the west coast of Africa somewhere. And you see it connects to the South America Niger River. So there's two Niger Rivers. There's one in West Africa, and there's one that's actually in South America. You know, when the land was one, right? I think scientists called it Pangea. Maybe it has a different ancient name, Atlantis. You know what I'm saying? Mexum, something like that, right? When the world was one, right? When all continents were one, you can see how the world fits together in a perfect puzzle. Like all the continents, they fit together in that perfect puzzle, right? But I actually seen a video not too long ago. Like it was a video from Africa, right? And there was people lined up all along. There was like a little river, probably like about, you know, like maybe a few feet wide or whatever, something like that. And there was people standing on like one side of it, right? They were standing all on one side of it. And you seen on the video, the earth move. Like the earth, like you can see the river getting wider. And I don't know if the people were all thinking it and they had just this unity in thought, but this piece of land was just drifting. Like you can see it like over 5 seconds. It wasn't like no 5-minute video. It was like 5 seconds. You could see the earth moving, right? And you see that Allah separated the lands, right? He gave space to people so that if you disagree, I'm saying this world is spacious. You ain't gotta stay next door to them. So if you disagree with somebody, you can get away from them, right? When you get into a fight with somebody, you have the ability to get away from them. And so what I'm saying is, I'm saying all of our brothers and sisters, right? All of our brothers and sisters may not make it on the ship. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are in love with their oppressors, right? They're in love with the master. They're in love with being slaves. So if they want to stay over there or they want to, you know, hop up on that ship, they're going to get on that ship and they're going to sail right on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because right now our people are in what's called a jurisdictional gap. There is a jurisdictional gap that is going on with our people right now. So as the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? As the Sultana, right? I have to be able to protect my people during this time, during this jurisdictional gap, until people are proclaimed, right? Until people are in tune with what's really going on. I have to protect my people and at the same time offer them the lessons that they would have, right? Offer them the knowledge that they have, because the power of information is highly, you know, utilizable. It has a high utility, the power of information. And this is what the prophet gives you when he comes to you. He says, look, I'm going to bring you the power of information, the power to inform yourself, right? What the prophet brings you is the power to know thyself, right? Knowledge of self, higher self, lower self. Knowing that you have two selves is key to knowing yourself, right? You don't look at yourself and look at the good parts and praise yourself and lift yourself up with the applause of everybody. Oh, brother so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? You better yourself when you look at the bad parts of yourself, the lower parts of yourself. You get the telescope out, the microscope out, you look at the bad parts of yourself, and you say, oh, that's how we end cancer. All we need is the T. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do this. All we need is that. It's real simple, yet very deep. And that's why people have a hard time with it, because it's so simple that it might even go over your head, right? So the power of informing yourself is highly underestimated. When you look at the word information, you see the root word of that is form, right? Form. So the prefix to that is in. So this is a formation that's going on inside of you, within you, right? And people make the song, oh, formation, you know what I'm saying? Formation with me. And it's like, no. Burn that. Formation with the prophet. Not with me, but with the prophet, right? Because I'm only the messenger. I only come down to bring the message that the prophet brought. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything new. Saying this is the old time religion, key 18 all day. I'm not trying to tell you anything new. I'm trying to tell you what the prophet told me, how I was raised up in consciousness, right? How I got to know myself, how I got to know Allah, right? I got in tune with the form, right? Because the prophet tells us that religion was only instituted to inform thee of thy infirmities, the places in which thou art not firm. If you are not firm in certain areas of your life, that's blessed. You can look at that and say, I have the opportunity right now in this very moment to change, to correct myself, to fix my heart, right? You got to become a heart surgeon to fix your mind. You got to become an expert on the human body, because this is the vessel which you live in. That's why in Moorish science, we study anatomy. We know the different pathways, right? They call the spine the highway of information, right? Your spine right here is where information is constantly going up and down, right? Right here on your spine. Information, neurons are being sent up that spine, down that spine. So it's up to you to have, you know what I'm saying, the person in the turret, right? In the watchtower. You know what I'm saying? If need be, you got a gun, you know what I'm saying, got a sword, whatever, to stop thoughts from coming through that aren't supposed to be there, right? The holy city of angels, right? The holy city of Mecca. Key 60, who's guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep the unbelievers away? Angels, right? Mecca is a place in the east. It is. The Kaaba that was built by Abraham. It's in the east. But there's also a Mecca within you that can never be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Unless you don't guard the place, right? You know what I'm saying? Robbers and thieves will come into this, you know, places, the den set, the sacred places that are set apart for prayer, and they'll make their den in there, right? If you're not careful, right? So when it comes to the Moorish Science Temple America, all it's really here to do is to teach you how to be yourself. To say, hey, here's your culture, here's your vast estate, here's your title, here's all these gems and jewels, here's gold, here's everything. It's up to you to be like receptive and receive it. Say, I receive this, right? I'm going to take this. That's up to you, right? We have European ideology, right? Which is what got us into slavery, which is what descended us into the state of slavery, right? In the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Science, under the Holy and Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali, under Allah, we know that slavery was brought upon our people as a judgment, meaning it was our fault. We don't sit up here and blame so-and-so, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? We blame ourselves. We look at history, right? We go back in history and we say, look at this, look at what they were doing, right? They started straying after the gods of Europe, taking on European ideology, and this is what descended us into a state of slavery. It's like, and if we don't be careful, we could go right back there, right? Because we know Allah is strict in his measure. He says, do something, we've got to do it. We must take heed, right? So if the Prophet of, Islam. So when it comes to this European ideology, it's been so ingrained in our psychology, right? Because there's a psychological warfare going on, or that has gone on with our people. If you look back, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of psychological warfare that has gone on with our people. And you talk about the Renaissance, right? What really happened during the Renaissance period, right? This is history, right? This is European history when we're talking about the Renaissance, right? Although they got everything from us, we're talking about that, right? Oh, let me get my Quran. Okay, let me get my Quran. Okay, what chapter did I read at first? 13, right? Okay, 13 right here. No, let's see, 13. So this is chapter 13 when Jesus was much older, right? And he went back to his sacred school and he told about all the tales that he had went through, right? So I'm going to start at verse 4. And now a man grown strong by buffeting of every kind, a teacher who has stirred the multitudes in many lands. Now I love this verse right here because it says that he was a man, right, that had grown strong by buffeting of every kind. So buffeting, what does the word buffeting mean to you? Right? When you think about buffeting something, you definitely think about cleaning a surface, right? Cleaning a floor, a hardwood floor or tile, saying with that little machine, or saying buffeting, really scrubbing it, a deep clean, a deep scrub, right? Cleaning it. So he had been deeply cleaned, right? Or you could think of it as buffeting, like you went to a buffet and you ate a lot. It potentially could mean that, right? You can look at it so many different ways, right? But being buffeted, right? And he had become a strong man, right? And then I'm going to jump down to verse 6. Elihu and Salom heard his story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to heaven and said, Our Father God, Allah, let now thy servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of Allah. Right? And so in verse 6, if you have your Holy Koran Circle 7, the Divine Instruction of the Holy Prophet, chapter 13, verse 6, it says his story, right? They heard Jesus' story. So that's what the Moorish Temple America is also here to do, is to get you in tune with his story, right? Our story. It's his story, but it's our story too, right? We must study our own history, right? We must institute programs for the youth to be able to study their own history. We must write our own history books, our own history collections, right? We must write them so that we can have some textbooks to use and circulate, right? That would be very profitable, right? So what I was talking about was, I believe, European ideology, right? And how it's been so ingrained in us, right? In the Renaissance, what happened is they took the painting of Jesus and they changed it. They hired this artist, all right, we're going to have you paint the picture of Jesus after we done created it at the Council in Nicaea. You know what I'm saying? Jesus wasn't a Christian. We just created this. I'm saying, so we could control everything, so we could control the narrative, right? And so we're going to have you change the painting of Christ, right? Because you see the original painting of Christ, he has this halo on his head. He has the garb on. It's mixed match and everything. You know what I'm saying? He's holding up the peace sign. I mean, the two like this on the right. He's doing all that. And saying he's dark skinned. You see the original painting of Jesus. And then nowadays, in Islam, it's forbidden to paint a picture of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad. It's forbidden to paint a picture. Why? Why is it forbidden to paint a picture of Prophet Muhammad? Because of the melanin, because of the hue. They don't want you to know that Muhammad had hue like this. But praise Allah for the holy and divine prophet that came in our time and who took a picture that looks exactly like you. Get you a picture of the prophet. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about instituting a program so that people can gain membership to, you know what I'm saying, the study group, the online study group. That way I can provide them these materials and stuff like that. In a way that you know is they can just get it, you know what I'm saying, having that on file and ready for people, right? So because people need it, right? I hear so many times people say, oh well, I get online and I see so and so and who knows who and whatever, and basically they get online and say, well, where's the real teachings online? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying, we can't get online and condemn those people and say they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that. What we should do instead is battle that. Say, here's the real information. I'm saying what so and so got is just a portion. I'm saying a little tiny crumb, right? But I'd rather be eating crumbs with bums than steaks with snakes. Saying if he got the crumb, that's all he got. Okay, that's good. That's blessed, right? But we need to be able to provide that whole meal to the people online in a way that is cohesive, in a way that is coherent, in a way that they are capable of interpreting that information and being able to utilize it. Now, is being online the same as being in the Moorish Temple of America, right? When it comes to this demonstration here, is going to be one of the closest things you can get, right? But is it exactly the same? No. Point blank period, no. Right? And that's why online is really a study group. This is not really a temple meeting. I don't take attendance or anything, right? When it comes to Moorish Science Temple America, we have forms that must be filled out every meeting. This is part of the organizational structure of the Moorish Science Temple America. And the brother, Marcus Garvey Bey, the forerunner of the prophet, the Honorable Marcus Garvey Bey, said that organization, he said something along these lines. He said organization is the biggest, well, maybe he said this, organization is like basically the biggest crime against our people, is the fact that we are not organized as a nation. The fact that we are not organized in any kind of manner, right? It's the organization. I'm like, where's the paper at? Like, I got so many papers right here that I would have to flip through papers. You know what I'm saying? Flip through them. And that's just because I have a lot, right? And that's what I'm saying. Maybe we can do something that can bring it more cohesive and more coherent to the people, right? Because people have this European ideology that has been placed on them heavily through slavery. The whole regimen of the slaveholder was to oppress you, right? To give you this information and say, don't stray away from this information or else I'm going to whoop you. And you're going to get that good old slavery whooping, right? Now we sit up here and whoop our children like the slave master. Like, who taught you that? Right? Literally, who taught you that? Right? Who taught you to oppress your own people and say, you must follow this by this degree and this, that, or else you not true, you not real. Right? Who taught you that oppressive nature? Right? We may have picked that up from the European because the regimen of the slaveholder was by death. If you don't follow what I say to do, death. Had you scared for your life. Had the women scared for their life, scared for the children's life. And it ain't much different nowadays, right? Because we're still we still have been eradicating this mental slavery, right? Still eradicating it. But praise Allah. Praise Allah truly. Because we've been able to make progress that's tangible. We've been able to make progress that has been true, right? But this European ideology, there's still increments of it in our mind, right? You look at the people, there's still increments, right? I got my eye on the people. There's still increments out there. And like I said, there's some that are not going to get on our ship. They're going to be in love with, you know what I'm saying, that the other side, right? And then there's, on the other hand of that, there's going to be a few percentage, right? Going to be a few, it ain't going to be that much. It's going to be a small percentage, right? But it's going to be a small percentage of Europeans like, them people crazy, I'm coming over here with y'all. Like, there's going to be a small percentage. Like, I ain't trying to kick it with them. I'm trying to stay with y'all, all right? So there's going to be a small percentage of them. And those ones that stay with us, they are true. They are full of love. You know what I'm saying? The Moorish blood, I'm saying the Asiatic blood runs through the veins of all people. So everybody, you know what I'm saying, civilization started with the so-called women, you know what I'm saying, the so-called black woman, according to their science, right? Even according to their science, then it must be true, right? That everybody, if you've originated from the same father and same mother, may have that that a little bit of our blood, right? A little bit of that divine blood, right? Because blood carries the spirit, right? Because people say, what is the difference between the Asiatic and the European? There's only two things in the world. There's the Asiatic and there's the European. What is the difference? It's in the blood. It's in the DNA. It's in the expression of the DNA, right? It's in that hue. They call melanin the God particle, right? Connects you back to God, blah, 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 blase, blase, right? But they call it the God particle, right? They build all these machines, right? To try to reach God. We want to see God. So they built the CERN machine, right? The big old CERN machine. They waste a whole bunch of money building this big machine that speeds up the electrons, atoms, or something to a certain speed, and they're trying to literally pierce through the atmosphere to reach God. And it's like, full. The pains which thou takest to hide it what thou art. Like, there's nothing that you can do to see God. So you can't see him with eyes and flesh. Key 4, can we see him? No. Right? You spend all this money trying to research, trying to find out who God is. Saying, go into a Moorish Temple America, be a guest, and see what you learn. If it's that serious, right? Like, I can't believe that one, but it's just what it is. Okay, so the European ideology has been inflicted upon our people, unfortunately. This was the regimen of the slaveholder, so he could subdue our people, right? And so, brothers and sisters alike, nobody's exempt from this, right? So, you look at the brothers. Brother, why do you have a perm? Know you not that the hair that grows out of your head, the way that it grows, is beautiful? You need not a perm. Brother, where is the afro? Where is the locks? Where's the naturalness? You know what I'm saying? I'm a naturalista. Where's the naturalness? Your hair is beautiful the way it grows out of your head. It's only the European ideology that got you like that. Oh, I gotta straighten my hair to look beautiful. It looks ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It looks ridiculous. You are so beautiful in your natural element. Beautiful. I'm saying sisters are not exempt. Like with the weaves and all that, hair weaves like Europeans, right? Who said that the standard of beauty was in how they look naturally? That's not how the standard of beauty is. Standard of beauty is how you are, being yourself, right? Because beauty is something that is a spirit. It's a spirit before it has physical attributes. It's a spirit. That's why you can look at somebody's countenance and see the light, right? You can see that divine light coming from within. Saying it's a countenance, but it's a spirit first, right? The beauty lies in the heart. I'm saying people don't like people because they are beautiful physically and attractive physically. People like other people because they say, oh man, that beautiful energy that you came with. That's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And as sisters, we got to have more self-confidence, you know what I'm saying? If a sister comes up to you and tells you you're beautiful, you got to know that they're, you know what I'm saying, they're telling you the truth. You got to tell you know what I'm saying, I know what you need to do. You need to look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I'm saying if you don't have beautiful spirits and stuff like that, then, you know what I'm saying, be honest with yourself. Esteem as thou art, right? Know where you're at. Maybe you need to clean up a little bit, right? But my goodness, my sisters, right? Clean up. You are beautiful. And when somebody tells you that, know it that is true. Have self-confidence, because confidence is another one of those C words that you need in your life. Confidence, right? Don't let nothing take you off your square. This is what we say in Moorish science. Don't let anything take you off of your square. Stand on your square at all times. Always be confident, right? Moors are men that are upright, independent, fearless, and strong. Upright, independent, fearless, and strong. Right? So don't let nobody ever shake your confidence, ever. Whether it be another man, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be a woman. Confidence comes from Allah. Confidence to me comes from knowing that I'm doing what Allah has told me to do. That's how I'm confident. It's not in the way I dress. It's not in the way I look, right? Because people are so concerned with the way that they look and the way that they dress and the way that others perceive them. I care not how others people perceive me, right? I care about how I perceive myself, right? Because I know myself. And I care about how Allah perceives me. Other people is just the icing on the cake. If other people like me, that's just the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care that much. And maybe that's a problem, but that's just how I am. Maybe that's why people don't like, I don't know, right? If that's true, right? Maybe that is why. But at the same time, I have no qualms with others in that regard on how they perceive me, because I'm going to present myself for who I am every day, all day. It's up to you whether you take that or not, whether you are accepting of that or not, whether you receive that or not. And we must all be more open to everybody else, right? We don't want to oppress anybody. We don't want to make anybody feel like they're being left out due to secular reasons, basically due to reasons that aren't real reasons, right? We want everybody to be accepted for who they are naturally. And so we have to eradicate those European ideologies, that European standard of beauty, because if we uphold those European standard of beauties, right, we think that this is what we should do because we saw so-and-so do it. It's like, burn all of that. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize that as a leader, I don't have any leaders. Nobody can lead me, right? Nobody can lead me. I had to be my own leader. I'm saying I had to step up and do stuff totally different, right? Because this is my mission. This is my work, right? I have to do something that nobody else on this earthland is necessarily charged with the same mission that I have. So I have no leader. I am my own leader, right? But I am a leader of my people. So it is a hierarchy, right? Saying the order comes down, you must take the order, right? The call comes through, you must take the call. This goes back to Acts 7, right? Must be a part and a partial. Let me go back here. It's also in here. Right? You may be a part and a partial of all uplifting acts. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Right? So we have to be a part. If somebody says, hey, be a part of this. If it's something that has to do with the Moorish Science Temple, you know what I'm saying, Moorish Science Temple America, I must, according to Acts 7, be a part of it. I can't say, well, you know what I'm saying, I can't, or I got something else to do. It's like, this is the top of my list of things to do, right? And if I ask you a question, you must, if you have good communication skills, you must answer my question. Because when you talk to me, I'm talking to you from, if I'm talking to you from this account, Sultana, because I got a couple accounts, I'm talking to you from this account, then I'm talking to you with a whole different vibe, right? I'm not talking to you like how I would talk to, you know what I'm saying, my brother or somebody who's not in the Moorish Science Temple America. Or well, my brother's actually coming around to the Moorish Science Temple America, getting privy to the information, getting privy to the knowledge. He's raising himself up, right? Slowly but surely, right? MashaAllah. Right? So if I'm talking to you from this account, it's a whole different vibe that I'm coming at you with, right? This ain't my personal life right here. This is my real life. This is my work life. So please do your best to communicate with me in a way that's wise, right? Because you ever see your mother, right? When you're little, your mother, right? She look at you a certain way. You just know, I'm not supposed to be doing that, shaking my head. But you know how children are. You come at them with the, no, you know you're not supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? They'd be like, oh, I'm just going to do it anyways. Because, hey, I said you're not supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? Saying all of a sudden they want to listen. I don't know why children are like that. You try to be nice and kind to them. You know what I'm saying? They're just But then when you get serious with them, you give them that look and they're like, oh, you know, and that's how mothers be, right? So when it comes to Moorish Science Temple America, we got a strong group of sisters around, right? If they see you doing something wrong, they gonna give you that look, right? They gonna give you that look. And you're gonna be like, ooh, I ain't supposed to be doing that, right? So you're gonna come around the temple, do it the right way, right? And that should be the goal, right? So I have said pretty much everything I wanted to say. Pretty much. You know, Sarah, honors to Sarah, Abraham's wife, right? Honors, high and divine honors to Sarah during the holy month of Ramadan. I think you should be on about Juzul 2 or Juzul 3 by now. If you're ahead of the game, you might be on Juzul 3 by now, right? I actually ordered a new Quran. It's called the Clear Quran. And I was doing some studying on it because of the brother who was on my live last time, Brother Arterberry Bay, right? He's older than me, you know what I'm saying, in Moorish science. He has reached that certain level of mastery, right? He has the ability to be like, you know, a governor, right? Grand governor, supreme grand, right? And have that office because he's reached that level, right? But he was telling me about the different translation. I said, oh, I have Abdul Yusuf Ali, which I do, was handed down to me by Elaine Ill, right? And so I've had that and I've read that a couple times, right, during Ramadan. And he was telling me about the different translations, right? Because I've always wanted to learn Quranic Arabic just to read Quran of Mecca in Arabic so I know exactly what is being said, right? And so I got this new version. It's called the Clear Quran. And so in the Clear Quran, it was translated in 2016, right? So this is a new translation. Like the one that I have was translated like way back in the 30s, right? Because the Prophet didn't come to America until and start the Moorish Science Temple America until 1913. He really didn't get it into that final, you know what I'm saying, didn't get to its final form until about 1927, 1928, right? And so when it came that the Prophet had came and instituted this, right, all of a sudden there was Muslims in America. There was, you know, before then there was no Muslims in America, right? Our culture had been completely stripped of us, you know what I'm saying, naked. We were stripped naked completely of our culture. So there's no Muslims in America until the Holy and Divine Prophet, Noble Drawley, came and said, here, just peeling off, you know, the greenbacks, peeling them off, right? Here you go. There wasn't no kind of culture in America whatsoever. Because we was out here, no headdresses, you know what I'm saying, running around, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The dress in the 1920s is actually pretty nice. You look back at some of the dresses, the long dresses, it looks alright. For the most part, most people were covered up. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't have no headdresses, we didn't have no culture. Saying, speaking broken English, right? Because it wasn't our true dialect. And so when he came back with the Quran, then all these people started translating the Quran, and there was a lot more Qurans in English, right? Starting in the 1930s. Because before the Europeans came here and colonized this land, right, and said this is ours, same with the BS and the blah blah blah, right? Oh, the Louisiana Purchase. How you gonna purchase that from the French? And this don't belong to any of y'all, you know what I'm saying? All these fake transactions that happen that have no real bearing, but that you learned about in school, right? Everybody learned about George Washington chopping down the cherry tree, right? And the allegory behind that story is that George Washington chopped down the Moorish flag, right? Chop, chop, chop. Taking these, you know, 1774, we taking their flag, we hiding everything, you know what I'm saying? We betrayed them, right? Because our people were here on this land, right? When they came and they said, can we do business on your land? They said, yeah, as long as you give us gold, you know what I'm saying? As long as you come with the money, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, come with this and not the other. You look back and read the treaties. They had to provide all this stuff. At the same time, England was taxing them too, so they're getting like double taxed, right? And so they said, screw all this, right? They went against their own king, Boston Tea Party, and they dressed up and made it look like it was us and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, with the feathers and all that. And then with our people, you know what I'm saying, they chopped down the Moorish flag and all that stuff. That's the allegory behind that story that you learned in your own classes, right? In your own schoolrooms, right? We all learned that story, right? And so, yeah, the Prophet went back to Woodrow Wilson when he was in the flesh. Woodrow Wilson was a senator at that time. And he said, where's the Moorish flag? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, I came here for the Moorish flag. Like, we're going to have to get to some business. And he said, all right, let me go get the flag. And he slid him a red banner and said, here you go, here's the flag. He said, no, I came for the one with the 5 pointed red a 5-pointed green star in the center because it was just a red banner. And he said, he was wow, right? He was amazed, and he said, wow, okay, this is the one, right? So he came back and bombed the Moorish flag. He bombed the Moorish garb, the garb of the last Moorish prince that was on this land. And you see the prophet, he's taking a photo, he has the garb, and he has the sash. And the sash says Islam. It's like kind of like a purple looking picture, and he has the turban, right, with the feather sticking out. That is the garb of the last Moorish prince that the Europeans gave to him, right? So it's true that we had our own government on this land, and they told him when he was there, like, it's not your time yet. They said it's not your time yet. We've got these people in a deep slumber. You're not going to be able to wake them up. And he said, I know. So I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing. I got this. And that's what the prophet says in his prophecies, right? His oral statements. We call them the oral statements in the Moorish Temple of America. He says in the oral statements, right? There's a bunch of oral statements. Beautiful, right? Very informational, right? Power of information, right? He says they will not come into their, Moors will not come into to their own in the year 2000, right? Until the year 2000. And so once the year 2000 came along, there was this big campaign of, you know, terror around Islam. We want to make Islam a terrible thing, right? Somebody along the lines must have said that, or, you know what I'm saying, wanted that. I'm not going to say it was so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. I just know it was some evil people, right? Some vile, disgusting, evil, low-down schemers, right, that did this kind of thing. And Allah is the best of planners. Praise Allah, because even though they tried to stop this from happening, like, it's full on happened. Full on, right? All the gates are opened, right? I opened up all the gates. After I opened up the southern gate, I said, okay, I'm going to open up the western gate. That was over 7 days ago by now. Okay, then I opened up the northern gate a couple of days ago. Okay, so all the gates are open. It was my goal to open up all the gates before Ramadan started. So all the gates are open, and I got more work to do, but this is the holy month of Ramadan, so then I got my new Quran. I'm going to be reading, right? More than reading and reciting, I'm going to actually put it in my heart, right? I'm going to code my heart with what's really being said. Like, I'm going to understand it on a level that that's good for me. Whatever level is good for me, right? The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah, and He appointed to everyone a measure, a portion, and a measure which seemeth good unto Himself. So Allah's going to give me a portion for me, and I love that aspect of life. It's like, you don't have all the answers, and I love that aspect of life. Other people is like, I gotta know the answers, I gotta know the answers. Like, I like that I don't know everything, right? If you think about the wisdom of Allah and how He knows everything, it's like, I'd be thinking, like, how could you even do that, right? Like, it's draining and exhausting to know even a portion of what's going on, like, but you just know everything. Like, oh wow, like, how great is that? Truly, how great is Allah? You know what I'm saying? Testify to that. You know what I'm saying? In your practice of Ramadan, take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Don't be online all day. Saying, don't be playing around all day. Actually sit down, do your reading. You know what I'm saying? Do your research, do your writing. Spend your time in silence, because the energy of Ramadan, I don't know if y'all was expecting fireworks. I don't know if y'all was expecting a flash bang and a distraction and a party, right? A rave, right? But it's like a Friday. It's like every day in Ramadan is like a Friday to me. It's just peaceful. Can't nothing disturb that. Saying the ethers are set, you know what I'm saying? You get to praying, and you know what I'm saying, you get to get in tune with Allah, and it feels blessed. It feels good. Alright, so I'm gonna have to get off of here. I gotta take a call and do other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and close down this meeting. The warning's been read. Y'all know the warning. So we're just gonna get to the prayer, okay? The warning, this must be read in every meeting. Right? Fire and burn, right? Warning must be read in every meeting. Y'all come for the prophet, alright? The ones that are on our side of this nation claim it's only a joke and a real are going to see that this is the only sole foundation, right? soul, S-U-L, soul foundation, to save our people. More than anything else, this is a spiritual and a soulful practice. We're saving lives, okay? Salvation, okay? So get with the Moorish Science of America, you know what I'm saying? Put your finance into it, because the prophet said, I'm saying, if you keep your money, I'm going to get your money anyways. You might as well just give it. Because if I got to come get it, I'm going to get more than what, probably more. Okay? Islam. So let's all rise and face the east. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jolly. Amen. So by night and by day, right? Allah protects us by night and by day. Saying if you have Allah, there is no need for no middleman, right? He's a husbandman of everything. No need for no middleman. All right, Islam, peace, and love, and blessings.